This is Meri at the Meri Atelier, and I'm going to do another live session tonight. I just popped in here, so I'm just going to give a few minutes to see who comes in, and then I'll start the session. Hi, Aristi. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. How are you doing? All the way from Greece. Wow. Welcome. As you come in, as people come in, if you would say something so that I can say hello back, that would be nice. Aristi, is that how you say it? Okay. That's what I'm going to call you now. So, well, you too. I just set everything up. I'm just getting ready to get started. I am going to work in my Childcraft art journal again. Reverse collage art journal. I'm going to give it a few minutes. As you come in, say hello so that I can say hello back to you. I'm hoping that I have a halfway decent connection tonight. I'm not sure. While we're waiting, I went to some garage sales this morning. Thank you so much, Aristi. Look what I got. 1909 Ladies World. Two 1909s. Oh, three 1909 Ladies World magazines. Really fun. Hi, Denise. Oh, I hope so too. Storms. What part? Where are you from, Denise? Where are we having storms? Very clear image today. Wow, stunning. Could you please copy it and send it to me too? Oh, I don't know if I could or not. This is a 1909. This might be out of copyright now. I'll have to check and see. Hi, Lucia. Welcome. While we were waiting for folks to come in, happy Friday to you, Lucia. West Virginia. Oh my. Is West Virginia getting hit by storms? Ugh. I got these at a garage sale. Well, actually, it wasn't a garage sale. It was really an antique mall that I didn't know that was there. But it's more of a flea market antique mall. It's one I could afford. I didn't pay much for these, and I was so thrilled to find them. And this one, I think I can actually art journal with a clear conscience, because look, it's torn. And it's got a hole right here. And I was thinking we could do something with that. If not on the back, on the front. So I'm thinking that I could do something with that. And I was looking through these just briefly. And I was really interested to see they have kind of interesting borders here. We don't have those in our magazines today. And they have these stories. Look they have these stories. And, you know, they didn't have in 1909 the movies and TV that we have. They got the story, well, they had libraries. But they had more stories in these magazines than what we have in our magazines today. We have, at the very beginning, we have full-page ads at the very beginning. Of course, these have full-page ads, too. I mean, they have ads, but it's kind of interesting to see. And around the stories here, they have these borders that really would be fun to get some inspiration off of. Oh, okay. That'll be great. That'll be fine, Lucia. You're at a training. Oh, the shame. Hi, Kathy. Welcome. Oh, thank you so much for watching. Yeah, sometimes it's because of my connections. Hi, Janet. Welcome. Kathy, that sometimes even if you watch the replays or watch the videos where I clean up the pages, you're going to get a better image because I'm not live. I'm actually am able to control the camera a little bit better. Here it's so dependent upon, do I have a good data connection? Isn't this neat, Janet? I got these today. I went out garage sailing. And I actually did not get these at a garage sale. I got them at a local antique store, which you think antique store, you think expense, but these were not very expensive at all. I paid $10 for the 3 of them. And so that means they were just about $3 a piece. $3.33 a piece. So... Hi, Becky. How are you doing, Becky? I watched your tags video today. Very cool tags. You made me want to go do some. I've been showing Becky. I like to watch her and her husband when they go thrifting. And I was watching the most recent one. I think it was your most recent one where you bought him a nice pair of slacks and a jeans, and he bought you I like that top he got for you, and a pair of slacks. And I thought, wow, that's pretty cool. So anyway, I was looking at these magazines, and I was commenting about the margins in here. I think I'm going to draw some inspiration from the margins in here. Are really kind of cool. And now this is more of an editorial here, but I was commenting about how they have all these stories. I was going to look for Christmas books tonight, but I ran over something. Wait, and we came back home. The $10 date night. Is that what you called it, a $10 date night? What did you run over, Beck? I hope you didn't run over nails or an animal. An odd nail. Oh, no. Well, I think I'd come back home. I think I'd go back home, too. That kind of spoils your day when you... I suppose the tire went flat right away, huh? Anyway, I got these magazines, and I've been thinking, now I probably won't do reverse collage in them, but I was thinking these would be fun, at least one of them, to do some art journaling in, and just use them as the journal itself. Just call it a Ladies' World art journal. And of course, add color to it, but maybe draw out some of the text is really small. I doubt that you can read it. I can hardly read it with my glasses on, but maybe draw out and add my own illustrations to the... I'm not sure that I'm going to... This one I probably will not cut into. I might use this one as the art journal, but they're not in pristine condition. See, they've been folded, and this one's torn. This one has, you can see it's been worn here. It's got a, I don't know if I can show it to you. It's got a hole right in the center of it, and this one, the page is torn here. And actually, in 1908. This is 1 year older than your grandmother, Becky. But I am actually happier that they're not in great condition, because I can use them without guilt and feeling like I'm going to destroy an antique or something. But these are over 100 years old, but they're not in really good condition. I was thinking, well, I had two thoughts. One thought was on these, let me get back to it. I want to draw inspiration from the borders here. Maybe play around with that with my fine line paint applicator. Maybe duplicating some of those borders. That would not be hard to do. Like a little clover leaf in there, and then some little loops around there. And then they got some squares, and that really would not be hard to do. And look at the even, whoops. Well, the front page is off of this one. But what was I saying here? Oh, look at the design here in the. Now we've seen these before. I mean, these are pretty common. These illustrated letters, but they're fun. And then the other thing that I noticed about these were the difference between our magazine. Hi, Lena. Welcome. Welcome to everybody who's come in here if I haven't said hello to yet. I think I caught everyone so far. Shauna. Hi, Shauna. Welcome. I'm kind of scrolling back to say my hellos. Kathy and Janet and Lucia, Aunt Beck and Aristi, Janet. Hello to everybody. But I'm going to have fun with these. Look, through the wit of a woman. How fun is that going to be? And I might like, on something like this, I might like just to take this character and just do like what I do with those fairies, and what else did I do? Those children. Just do a line drawing, maybe off over in here. So I've got some ideas of how to use these, and I'm really kind of thankful that they are not in pristine condition, because if they were in pristine condition, I would feel guilty. Yeah. So those were my find of the day. I think we have enough people in here that I can get started on this. I have chosen the page that I'm going to do, and that's this one. Now I do think if you, oh, I wanted to say too, if my camera bops off, if I lose connection, sit tight, I'll be right back. It happens, and it's been happening to me today. I go down from 4G to 3G, and I have a feeling that's going to happen tonight. And if you just give me a moment, sit tight, I'm going to go take our phone off the hook, because I don't want it to ring and somebody leave a message while I'm talking. So I'm just going to go run across the room and take the phone off the hook. Okay, that's done. And if I bop out, sit tight, I'll be right back. Lose my data connection, but for some reason it seems like my YouTube is still going. So I'm going to zoom in just a little so you can see this page. My camera might shake a little here. There. Okay, this is the page that I chose to do tonight. The one that we did the other night was this. And I'm trying to work in this book on my Friday night live sessions, at least until I get maybe the majority of pages done. We've done several, but this is the one we did last week. Walk like an Egyptian. Yep. With the... I can't do the arm movements that they do, the Cleopatra. But this again, for people who are not familiar with what I'm doing with this book. This is a childcraft encyclopedia. And this one happens to be all about art. And it's so cool because I have other ones that I have been fussy cutting images out of. Not this one. This is a more recent one. Or this is a more recent purchase. I haven't cut anything out. But they have black and white photos. And I've been fussy cutting out the photos. This is a little bit geared toward science and that type of thing. I think this is a little bit newer childcraft magazine. There aren't as many children in here, but I've been fussy cutting out the black and white children, and I've been using them as collage elements on these pages that I'm doing, such as this child here I decided belonged with. This is a painting by Renoir of Julia Monet, and I've been doing reverse collage. And for folks who are unfamiliar with reverse collage, I always get a question about what it is. It's where you paint out everything on the page except for the elements that you want to work art around, such as over here I painted out everything except for Julia Monet and her cat and the text, and then I collaged down this photo and did my little drawings of the fairies around here. So I'm going to work on this page today, and what I like to do is kind of read the text in here. Isn't that neat, Denise? Isn't that neat? That is so fun. I think this is one of the more successful pages. Although I really did have fun with this black and white one too. This was so fun because Nancy had sent this photograph of these children sticking their tongues out, and it just went with this where the children were standing in front of a fun mirror where, you know, like at a circus, and they'd see their distorted images. And here they're sticking their tongues out, and so I drew little silhouette images so it looked like they were sticking their tongues out at each other. Believe, you should use the name Believe with the one with the fairies. That's a good idea, Janet. That's a really good idea. I may do that. I haven't titled that yet. In fact, I was saying that if somebody come up with a good idea for me for a name, I would send them a black and white ATC or postcard. So you may get it, Janet. Email me at themeriatelier@gmail.com. Put periods, THE.MERI.ATELIER@gmail.com. And message me your, or even on Facebook. I think I've seen you on Facebook. I'm on Facebook under Meridel Abrams. Message me your snail mail Addy. And we'll use Believe on this page. Okay. So I kind of like to read the text on here because I think well, of course, it relates to what they are telling about the photos here. And this is kind of like art appreciation. I would say this book is geared toward junior high school, maybe 3rd, 4th, and 5th grade, 6th, 7th, and 8th up in there. It's a little, I have a little bit different name too, Aristi. It's Meridel, M-E-R-I-D as in Deborah, E-L. Meridel, M-E-R-I-D as in Deborah, E-L. And then my last name is Abrams, A-B-R-A-M-S. I don't know if I have my real name under my About on my YouTube channel. If I don't, I need to go out there and put it in there because... Oh, okay. Good. You're going to send me a friend request? I'll know it's from you. So, I'm going to go ahead and read this little text. I'm going to do something a little bit different. Not unique, but different with the text. It says, this wall painting came from a tomb built in Egypt more than 3,000 years ago. It shows people making bricks of clay and sand from the Nile River and water from a nearby pool. The people put the mixture into molds that shaped the bricks that dried in the sun, and the bricks were used to build buildings. Today, bricks are still used to build buildings, so there are a lot of other materials, like steel beams and iron workers used to build the skyscraper, and so they got the skyscraper over here. I'm going to zoom out just a teeny bit. No, it's just a little bit too, if I can. Oh, that was in. It's kind of hard with your phone to get it. I'm probably giving you guys a headache. All right. Oh, that would be fun, Aristi. Which one of these three do you want? I will tell you, these are not in pristine condition, but these were not expensive, and I would be glad to trade one with you. This one, the cover fell off. Was it this one? No, wait. Yeah, it was this one. This one, the cover fell off, but and this one has the cover, the front cover is torn here, and they're very fragile condition. And this one also, I think this one is in the, well, the pages, they're fairly thick, but they're aging, and the paper is turning yellow, and they're a little brittle. Like this one has a hole right here in the center where it's been folded, you know, it's been folded in half like this, and that's probably how I'll send it to you, like in a mailing envelope. But I would be more than happy to trade one of these with you. Which one do you want? Just say 1, 2, or 3. This will be 1, this is 2, and this is 3. Do you want to see anything in them? Do you want to see inside of them? Let's go. This is the back of 3. It's got a gold medal flower. And I got to be careful now if I'm going to send it to you. Oops. Knocked some paint over. I had some paint set out here. Muncie union suits for ladies. Ladies silk cashmere. Let's see. A lot of ladies in the back of all of these. Let's see. I'm just kind of thumbing through these really fast so that you can get an idea of what's inside. This is number 3. Fabrics and trimmings. Of course, they're all in black and white except for the front cover. And maybe a little bit on the back here. Some fancy ladies. Ooh, that one's cool. Corsets, bonton corsets. Fashions for, they've all got cool images in them. So this is, I'm just going to thumb through real fast. This one's got Lorna Doone music sheet. Some house plans from 1909. Window. Renee. Looks like make stained glass out of plain glass. That's cool. Health and good look tips. Engraving on leather. Are you keeping track? This is still number 3. Royal baking powder. I'm just thumbing through it real fast so you can get an idea of what's in it. Milkweed cream. Oh, I've never heard of milkweed cream. And then it gets into the stories at the front. If it were true, the happy end, lights that led, the spirit of public school. I might take a couple of pictures of this before I send it to you, though, or whichever one I send. Now, this is number 2, is the one with the lady in the red jacket, and I will say this cover is not in good shape at all. I'm going to start at the back. The back has the Youth's Companion on it. It's a magazine that they had for kids. Fairbanks soap products. Let's get my cord out of the way here. Oh, let's see. In memory of Lincoln, kind of like a memorial to Abraham Lincoln. Winter dressing, you get back into the women's accessories, patterns. So they'll story about a for a children's story about a puppy. And this one is, the music sheet is called In Starlight. And here's a house plan again. Artistic needlework. Of course, spoons and silverware over here. I'm just kind of thumbing through them real fast, so look fast. Of household interests, there's all kinds of tips. More ads, and now we're getting into the stories. George Henry stories, Talks on a Married Life, Skinner's Satin, Substance and Shadow, Day by Day, Stories of Great Preachers, A Sioux Uprising. These pages are fragile at the front. Behind the Rainbow, and then we're back to the front. So that was number 2, and here's number 3. Number 3, the front cover is completely off of it, but it's not in bad condition, but it is torn here on the side. But she's a pretty lady. You could collage that down, or do whatever you want. There does have kind of a cool back cover with a cowboy, the Bronco Buster. Ooh, that's neat. W.K. Kellogg Toasted Cornflakes. So we're getting in here. I'm just going to thumb through real fast here. I hope I'm not boring y'all. Can't even pronounce that. Japalak? New life and looks to your old doorways, your old doors. How about that? Japalak. And then, of course, is the dress patterns. Puzzle, fashions and dressmaking. How Grumpy Was Disciplined. They all have, I think, a story for children in here. The Ways of Society. In the Cradle Nest is the song here. Household Interest, 2-course dinners, candle lamps and shades. Ooh, another neat inspiration for the fine line paint applicator. I'll be copying that. Whoops. Gotta be careful, Mary. These pages are fragile, I will tell you that. Through the Wit of Women. The Ideal Site. The Fairies Janet. Is Janet here? Little Moccasins. These are the stories at the front. They're all 1909. One is June. Number 1 is June. And it has color on the front and the back. And the front, inside front has this, another colored image. Number 2 is November. And I imagine it's geared more toward, you know, the holidays. November of 09. It has the Youth Companion, and I guess it's a kind of a colored on the back of here too with soap products. That's number 2 is November. Number 1 was June, I think. Let me flip back over here. June, and number 3 is October, and the back of that is the gold medal flower, and the inside back is the Union suits. So, whichever one you want, Aristi, let me know. There's not an October. There's a November one. This one. Are you sure? That's not in good condition. Is this the one you're talking about, or is it? Oh, no, there is an October one. Okay. There is okay, number 3 comes to you. If you sent me a friend request, message me on Facebook your snail mail address, and I'll do some copies of what I'm interested in here. So, especially I was interested in the designs along the border, that type of thing. I'll make some copies and then I'll mail it off to you. So, it's a trade. You send me whatever you think is fair and we'll do a trade. Okay, now we're back to our reverse collage page. So this page is all about building. And what I have in here are the pinks, tones, kind of tans and browns, the whites, the dark blues, kind of like a lighter cobalt blue, yellows, a black, and red. And I think I'm going to paint out into the margin here, but I want to save that text out. But I'm going to do that differently this time, so I think I'll mask it out. If you give me a minute here, I want to hopefully just kind of tear. I think I'm just going to mask this text. Maybe I'll just fold it this way. And I want some painter's tape, which is right here. You hear me walk across the room to my shelf where I have some painter's tape. Because I want to save the text. But I don't need all of that. Is that enough? Yeah. I'll just tear it. It doesn't have to be even. And I do really think that doing reverse collage in a live session I think it's appropriate because I don't have to think a lot about what I'm putting down here, because I'm just going to draw the colors out. I'm going to start with this kind of a fleshy tone. And hopefully this will go faster than the one did last week. And wait till you see the image that I found for this. Okay. The blue, maybe. And of course, I don't have my wax paper torn. I thought I was prepared for tonight. Let's put some wax paper under these pages before I start smearing up. Not so much to protect the one underneath, but to keep the paint from gluing them together. And put it this way, this way, this way. There. And what else? I want a little reddish color. I don't have a lot of red. Let's see. I think I'm going to put it over here, though. I'll put some there. This area here will get covered up. And this probably will too, to a certain extent. And I don't think I want the blue, as much blue in there. But I want some white. Let's put some white in here. Okay, that'll be good enough. So I want yellow on there too, but I'll come back to the yellow. So I'm just going to smear it in here. This is The Builders by Ferdinand Leger, L-E-J-E-R, painted oil on canvas in 1950. From the Museum of Ferdinand, from the, I can't even pronounce it, it's all in French. It's in France. And I usually just paint that out. I'm going to paint it out. I read it, so I have it down in the video what that was. And then I think what I'm going to do is just kind of around the mask here. Just kind of really fast and furious in here. Maybe some of that red over here. Some of the red in there. Whoops. And I'm just here again using my fingers, and like I said, I think that doing this type of finger painting during a live session works really well for a beginner with live, because you don't have to worry too much about being precise with it, except for I didn't want it to go clear on there. There. Now let's get, I kind of want these hieroglyphics to, this Egyptian up here to picture, to not be messed up too much. If you're saying anything, I'm not seeing it because I'm looking down at my page. Now, I think I'm going to fold this over just a teeny bit so I can bring some paint into there. And my paint's already getting dry on me, but let's see if I can just smear some in here. This craft paint dries really fast. I mean, it's not completely dry, and where it's thick, it's not dry at all, but it dries pretty fast. And really all I'm doing is bringing the I lost you. It's looking up at the ceiling. Where's my setting here? I gotta reverse it. It's buffering. Thank you, Aunt Beth. Thank you guys for... Oops, gotta switch the camera yet. There. Yeah, I can't tell you how bad I want to get Wi-Fi. Thank you for sitting tight. My camera's kind of shaking. It'll settle down in a minute. I was watching what I was doing on the page, and I didn't even see it go off. That was a perfect time for it to do that when I wasn't watching. I really apologize. Wi-Fi is on my list of things to get, but it may not happen right away. It may not happen till September. All right. I'm going to say that's enough color on this page. I don't want to get too wrapped up in it because I do want to get the page done tonight, or at least fairly done. I'm going to take off this mask that I put down here. Throw that away. Take the tape off. I saved the text, which was my intention for tonight. If anybody walked in that I haven't said hello to yet, hello. Once I get started working on these pages, I'm going to take this wax paper out too. It kind of bothers me when I'm live, and I think I'm, for the most part, done with the painting. Not completely. I want to put some yellow on there, but I'll hold off on that till... Kind of bothers me while I'm live. I get my hands in it, it goes into... Patricia, hi! Good to see you. Welcome. And I see my camera after I came back live is not zoomed in, but I'll finish drying this off here. Yeah, it has to lose it's been losing its connection for me all day today. It's been going from, it's on the phone. I'm recording on the mobile, and it goes from 4G down to 3G down to 1G. I really do need Wi-Fi. I just can't quite justify it yet. But I'm getting there. I should have said heat gun alert. Pretty dry. The thick places aren't quite, pretty thick up in here. Okay, one thing I wanted to point out, and I'm going to zoom way in, hold on, way in. That's as far as it'll go. I want to show you the, hope you can see it, the hieroglyphics. Aren't those cool? So that's what I'm going to do next. Maybe I'll do those in the border. Now, I have to get my fine line paint applicator. I got it out. I'm going to do it with black. Hi, Lillian. Welcome, Crafty Grandma. Whenever I use the fine line paint applicator, though, I have to let it dry. So I'm going to tell you what I'm going to do, but I'll come back to that because that's one of the last things I want to do, because I have to let it dry and I don't want to put my hands in it. So I'm going to zoom back out. Hold on. Won't that be neat? Wait, now I've got to tilt my camera a little. Bring it up just, whoops. It's kind of hard to do on the phone, because the phone's hooked to a little clampy thing. I know I don't have the best connection, but at least I'm live. So I want to show you the picture that I chose because it's really cool, or I think it's cool. This is the picture that I chose. And it's a little one. I mean, it's a big picture of a little one, and he's building blocks. And I'm going, how cool to have big storm here. Lillian says there's a big storm here. Lightning, hailing, rain, the works. So I will probably disappear because we just lost power. Oh no. Well, at least you peeked in, Lillian, so I'm glad you stopped by. Yeah, some bricks or blocks. That's a good idea, Janet. And in fact, what I want to do next is, let me get it out here. With the text, I want to keep this text. Most of the time I've been painting around the text, but I'm going to, my picture is going to, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put it here. I'm going to glue it, the back of it, put glue on it, and then I'm going to put it here. I'll have to put that wax paper down there, and then I'm going to shut the book, because I'm thinking that will help glue this side a little bit better into the margin. So I'm going to try that. But before I do that, what I want is to cut around here. Now, let's see. I would rather have a pencil. And do I have one handy? I have an unsharpened pencil. What happened to my mechanical pencil that I was using the other day? Well, I guess I'll just eyeball it. I will eyeball it. What I want to do here is cut this text to flip open, and then I'm going to fold him back over, and then I'm going to draw the blocks down, reconnect the blocks. But let's set him over here. What I want to do first, let's see what you're saying. Maybe add some bricks or blocks. Maybe make the baby a page. Oh, you mean like a flip page? That's a good idea. I could glue him down here and let him flip. And he could be a page that way. And maybe paint the back. Paint the back. It might curl a bit on me. Well, I'll have to think about that. I like when you guys give suggestions. It just adds a little. I got some paint on him. That paint's not completely dry in there. That's a good idea. I was going to cut this, but if I make him a flip page, maybe I'll just bring some paint down in there and put that mask. You changed my course of action here. Make him a tip-in, just so he keeps his brick. Yeah, but if I make him a flip page, I guess I could do it here. So, do it there. Is that what you're saying, Janet? On this side of the page or on this side? Which side? Should I make him a flip page here? Or should I make him a flip page over here? And just make him so he flips like that? Tell me what you think is... I'll wait for your answer. The left. Is that what you were thinking too, Janet? The left? This is my left. Is that what you're thinking? I don't know what your left is. You don't want to lose... Is this your left or is this your left? Is the one with the picture or the text? I don't know what yes means. The one with the text, put him on the one with the text or the one with the picture. Text or picture? Text. Okay, good. All right. Well, then in that case, though, too, maybe I'll, because I wanted to add some yellow. Maybe I will... This is a brighter yellow. Let's see. This is my yellow I have to coax, and this is my yellow that's going empty. Let's see. But I like this. This is called, this is a satin paint, but it's getting pretty empty. Oh! That didn't work. I should have given it a hard shake. Oh, that's okay. I don't want that anyway. You've discouraged me from using this. Let's see. Not you. The paint bottle. I was talking to the paint. I'm going to do this King's Gold. Some of this paint that I have is not new. Let's shake it before. I'm not worried about this, but since I've already... That was a satin anyway. I just want to put a little yellow on this page. Get some yellow in here. So I'm going to get this, since I'm not going to cut, I'm going to get this out of the way. We'll save the cut technique for another time. Let's put some yellow in here. And let's bring some yellow up in here too, since we're... And then I'll draw the hieroglyphics too with the... I like that idea. Let's get rid of this. I want some of that yellow up in here. Maybe just a teeny bit more. I got more yellow on here than what's in the picture, but I like it. Let's just kind of maybe the black will be going over here with the hieroglyphics and the building blocks. Okay, so since we're going to make that guy a tip-in, let's fold this page in half. And let's paint the back of him. Oh, I'm going to go with the blue. How's it looking to you? Is it getting dark for you? My desk it's getting dark here. I'm going to turn my light on because I have to have some light to see. And I know that isn't the best lighting, but lighting is another thing on my list. I need a lamp over on this side to offset the light over here. And a lamp is not an expense. I mean, a huge expense. I can certainly afford a lamp. It's just getting the one that I want. Oh, I need more paint. You really put that on, Mary. This page is not curling as much as I thought it would. That's curling up in there. Okay. And really, this is really on here thick. Let's give him some. I'm thinking I got enough paint on the bottom of this that I want to put him over here. Get rid of this. Should have probably just taped him down. I wanted to give him some texture type since I had a lot of thick paint on there. Am I losing people? Storms? I might have to clean up the front a little. There, I think I'll just call that good for now. Now I want to wipe off my hands again and dry him. He doesn't have to be perfect. This isn't not an exercise in perfection. Hi, Leslie, welcome. Leslie is our school teacher. Oh, the dog wanted out, Aristi? Leslie, I don't know if you know, but Aristi, but she's from Greece. And you just got here. You missed seeing the magazines that I got at the, well, I say antique mall, but it's, welcome back, Lena. Were you here all along? You said hello, so I said welcome back. You have 5 dogs, Aristi? Oh, I think that's pretty dry. Let's flip it over and see what kind of damage I did to the front. Oh, he's got some blue spots on him. I don't know if I can clean him up or not, but he's a little builder, so he's just going to have some. I might go in and dirty him up a little, like he's been working all day. Looks like it peeled off some of the print there too. I should have protected him a little better, but I'm not going to cry about that. What we're going to do with this, Leslie, is we're going to make him a tip-in. We're going to glue down. I think I'll come back later maybe with some browns and maybe distress this a little bit more so it'll look like he's been working all day. And we're going to glue him down so that this part will lift up and you can see the text. So I think I'll do that next. I'm going to move some of this paint because I'm famous for knocking my paint over. I think for the most part I'm done with it. I'm moving paint out of my way. That's what I'm doing. Okay. So I'm going to still use this Scotch glue stick that I've been using the last few weeks. It's getting pretty well used. And I think I'll just come down maybe right there. Right in there. See how that works. And I don't want a painty wax paper again. Good thing wax paper is not expensive. I don't want to get him any more painty than he is. What's happening here? I don't see that. Why did I paint the back? Aristi, I painted the back just to make it a color. I guess I could have left the text on there, huh? Would have been interesting reading. I painted the back because that's what I do. Too late now, but on the next tip-in, I've got some more large photos like this. The next one, we won't paint the back. Okay. Let's flip this up. Now, I think I'll still go with... I think I'll just put him covering up most of the text there. Right in there. And... I'm grabbing a paper towel. So he'll lift up like that, partially. Meri, if you put a coat of Mod Podge on your images, they will be protected. You will be able to wipe off. Now, I like Mod Podge, but not for my art journals, because of it's very humid here. I'm in the central part of the United States. You close this book, and you might as well use your Mod Podge as a glue stick. But it's a good suggestion. I suppose I could use matte medium. Would protect it a little bit more too. When put matte, yeah, matte medium would have protected this. So that's a good suggestion. And I'll do that next time too. I just didn't think of it. That is a really good suggestion. Thank you, Janet. But I kind of like him messy. Kids don't stay neat and clean. I don't know how many times I'm going to bop out tonight. There's storms going around. Let's see. Let's turn this around here. There. That was a little bit easier. There's storms going around in other parts of the United States. It's not stormy here, but it's kind of humid and cloudy out. So I've been losing connection all day. So I was going to point out again. Are you in the eastern part of the United States too, Patricia? Monsoons? Where are you at, Patricia? I was going to point out here the hieroglyphics, the hieroglyphics, blah, 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 you know, the Egyptian picture writing. Oh, Arizona? Monsoons in Arizona? Oh no, we're in trouble. I got a photo here that's flipping out. I have to take it out, but I want to leave it there. Okay, I do like this. And next image like this, I'm going to put... Yikes, Patricia. I didn't know they had monsoons in there in Arizona. I think of Arizona as being a desert. I'm going to, next image that I choose, before I do my live, I'm going to put a coating of matte medium on here. Really, Patricia, that's interesting. I did not know that about Arizona. But as I was saying, when a kid is playing, he does not stay neat and clean. I am going to draw some inspiration from these hieroglyphics. Blah, blah, blah. Egyptian picture writing. And try to get as close as you can. There's a kind of like a bird. And I don't know what this is. It looks like a circle with a dot with a circle. You can see my painty finger. You should know, huh, Leslie? And I wish I had more images of hieroglyphic. I'm having trouble pronouncing it. I'll say word pictures. Birds, and I'll do my own. And blocks. So I'm going to start with the little bird in here. Let's see if I can get this started without... Let's see if I can just do a small bird. There. Sort of like that. Let's give him a foot or two. And let's put him in a... They put him in rectangles or squares. Make him look like an Egyptian. And of course I'm drawing standing up again, so it's not going to be perfect. And let's just do some... Let's do a circle here with a dot in it. And I don't know what else is there. I see a lot of birds. It's hard for me to see with this camera. How about a man? Oh, you know, I'll draw these. I'll mimic these little men, maybe. They're easier for me to see. We'll do some Egyptian people. Let's see. This guy's carrying something on top of his head. So we're going to give him a head. Sort of. I'm laughing now. My hand's shaking. Okay. And I'll put a basket up there. That's a basket. And he's going to have his hands this way and this way. He's going to be jumping out of this box, I think. Oh, he's got a swimsuit on. I'll get better at it. He's going to be, his legs are going to go down into, he's going to be standing on the bird. What can I say? I'm not Egyptian, so we'll leave it that way for now. Let's do one here where I have more room. Looks like he's carrying a little loop thing. Let's draw him. And I'm looking at my paper. I'm not watching the comments. Let's draw him. Let's give him a black hair. And his hand is just kind of coming down that way. And he's holding this tool. What is that tool? It says... The bricks are still, let's see, this wall painting came from a tomb. It shows people making bricks of clay and sand from the Nile River and water from a pool, and the people put the mixture into molds that shaped into bricks that dried in the sun. I thought it told about that tool that was, he's got a tool here in his hand. I'm really curious. It's got kind of a loopy thing. I'm drawing this guy right here. Or I think I am. No. And kind of like his hand comes this way and this way. And he's got a big hand, but... And then... I don't know. It looks like he's got Bermuda shorts on. He looks more comfortable than this guy does. Yeah. They're not perfect, but I'll bet they weren't perfect. Well, they might have been perfect on the tomb. Yeah. There. He's got a foot here. And I painted out his feet down there, which I should probably do down here. All right. What his hand's not doing anything here. It's just kind of coming down. All right. Well, that was fun. I should have started over here because this is wet now. Let's do some squares and some dots and a rectangle. I like that bird. I've got off to a good start, Mary. And the bird. And let's just put some square like that. And I want to do more, but I don't want to mess this up because it's wet. And I'm thinking. Heat gun. Thank you, Janet. Does anybody remember the childhood story, Nile, Nile Crocodile? No, Janet. Tell us about it. Nile, Nile Crocodile? I don't think I heard that one. Can you tell us a little about it? I'll repeat it for the people who are listening on the replay. Hi, Susan. Welcome. What's the weather like in Georgia tonight? People up north and east are having storms. It's kind of cloud. Well, I wouldn't call it cloudy, but it's kind of muggy. Stormy down in Georgia. I'm going to do more hieroglyphics on this page, but I'm going to do it off camera. So you'll see that change in the border here. That's just more detail than I got to get my nose up to it. And I want to do a little bit more research about what type of hieroglyphics I can draw in here. I think I painted some out up in here. Up in there. I didn't mean to do that. Okay. Janet, were you going to tell us about Nile, Nile Crocodile? Rainy Night in Georgia. Yeah. Good song. He's kind of messy there. I am wanting to... What am I wanting to do here? Get out a smaller paintbrush. That's my water. I'm going to use that one. This one will do. Or maybe even... Hold it. I'm going to go over and get my ink here. Oh, I don't have everything right in front of the desk. I want some archivers, and it's all stacked up over here. Talk among yourselves. I'm getting some ink. I want my brown and black archival ink. No, let's see. Susan, I'll show you my magazine book. Let me finish this page here. I'm just about finished doing everything I'm going to do because the paint here is wet and I don't want to put my hands in it, but I want to do a few more things here. Janet says, Nile, Nile Crocodile was a song my kids learned in grade school. It's about the Nile River. It was a cute story song. Oh, I'm going to have to look it up. I think what I'm wanting to do is take some of this brown archival ink. It should be pretty juicy yet. And I am going to, hopefully, see what kind of a mess I can make here. I'm just going to I should have done this before he was glued in, but you know, I know I never do anything like I should have. But next time, per suggestion from Janet, I'm going to coat this with matte medium before I paint the back of it, or before I even collage it down, to keep it a little bit neater. But this is just, this little kid's a builder, so he's had a hard day's work here. I'm just kind of distressing it. In fact, I could distress the page here too. Why stop with the kid? I don't want to get it too bad. What I'm wanting, I think these are dry enough. Well, we'll leave that way before I get too wild with that. I think I'm going to draw another Egyptian here. Let's try. I got to look at him. This one's kind of stooped over. Looks like he's putting bricks, building a wall. But I like this one because he's brown and he's holding sort of a rod. And I like that one because he's holding a... So what I'm going to do is draw this one, and he's going to be holding that contraption. And I'm going to draw him in here. And he's going to be bigger. Yeah, got to get it started. And if he doesn't turn out, I'll paint him out, redraw him. And then it has a sort of a lines coming down. It's kind of hard to do with that. And then a square. And these are not meant to be perfect. These are just little quickie sketches. He's all right. Now I'm going to let these dry, and then I'm going to come in with some brown. And like this guy is brown and the pants are white. I'll come in and color them. And I think I'll do some more Egyptian word pictures up in here and around the border. Like, let's see. The little boy is cute as a tip-in. Thank you. Yeah, you can see the text under it. On some of those other pages, I kind of lost the text. I like a tip-in. You know, and I could do some drawing down in here, too. So do you think we should put a title on this page? What do you think I should call it? Building blocks, building cities, building bricks, building skyscrapers? What's a good title? Oh, I'm missing out on, let's see. You found, let's see, Susan says she found Dee Dee on YouTube and then Meri. My first time in a live chat. Well, welcome, Susan. It's kind of a first for me. I just started doing live chats, and I will tell you I am using my mobile phone and I'm connected via mobile phone live data, so you probably will see some pixelation. I'm not on Wi-Fi, so until I get a better connection and everything, but this is kind of new for me too. I think I'm going to leave this page as it is for now, and then off camera, I'm going to come in and do some more hieroglyphics, well, you know, Egyptian word pictures. It does. It's it's probably not as bad here in the States, but I'm in a small town, and the larger cable companies don't come out this way. So, and I'm just not quite ready to go to cable yet. Now, what I wanted to do was show Susan that big fat magazine journal I was working in, because she asked about it. I'm going to set this aside. I'll do this, a finish up on this, like I do on the other pages. Got a good start, and you guys gave me some good ideas on that one. Thank you very much, Janet, with the tip in and doing the coat on it before I did the painting. This is the magazine journal, Susan, and this is, of course, inspired by Dee Dee Willingham, her magazine idea playground, and she took Somerset Art magazines and cut them in half, and she made a mini magazine idea. She does these big art journals too, but she wanted a smaller one for this project. Well, this was my first attempt, and I wanted to do a larger one because I felt like I could work in it easier. Thank you, Janet. This cover actually was a calendar page that I glued to the front of the magazine. This is the actual magazine cover, and I glued the calendar page to it that had this fleur-de-lis on it. And then I used Shannon Green's, I call it Shannon Green's technique. I'm not sure if it's really her technique, but I saw it on one of her lives where she took paint and painted wouldn't it look great on a door? She painted a piece of wax paper, and then she just coated it with like this clear color. My magazine, my calendar page was kind of like a dark black, and I used this cream color and painted that piece of wax paper just with craft paint and maybe some yellows and creams, and then you just flip it over onto your page and lift it up, and it gives this real textured distressed look. Yeah, it really looked good on here. And then this on the back is actually the back of the Smith, I want to say it's not Smithsonian Magazine, it's Capper's Weekly magazine, but this picture came out of the Smithsonian, and this picture came out of the Smithsonian. And this is Walt Whitman. And this, actually, Janet, it's pretty distressed, but I do have gel medium on this. I won't say I put it on there right away, but I got a little impatient on some of this, but I'm happy with it. And this is actually 5 magazines. I used is it Country Living or Midwest Living magazine and Capper's Farmer. I think I had 3 Capper's Farmers and 2, I'm going to say Midwest Living. And there are 5 magazines glued together. And I did it Dee Dee Willingham style, but Meri Abrams got impatient. And Dee Dee warned me. She said, you know, you have to let it dry. Well, yeah, but I got curious and I didn't let it dry enough, and my pages were really uneven and my magazines were uneven, and it was really horrible the first time. And I redid the binding, and I'm really happy with it now. I went back and I separated all the magazines and re-glued them and clamped them together and put weights on them and let them dry. So But yeah. And then Dee Dee, this is her, she says, use these are her collect questions. Who, what, when, where, why, and how. You know, that they always say that when you're getting ready. Well, I think I learned that in English class, but she stresses asking those questions. And she talks a lot about mind mapping and mind mapping images. And here on this side, I was just playing. I kind of like this in a way, but it's to play. Don't be surprised if that changes. And I painted out. This is the, I won't call this a portrait, because when I think of portrait, I think of spending hours studying somebody's face and, you know, doing a realistic, not that this is not realistic, it's more of a caricature of Dee Dee. I just looked at her on her channel. I think she has a picture of herself. It's either on her channel or on Facebook. Yeah, I could tear out pages. I'm not sure I'm ready to start tearing out yet, though. Painted out. This is all the reverse collage technique, where you paint out everything on the pages that you don't want. Like this had a lot of advertising on it. At the back of these magazines, let's see if I can get to the back of one. Well, this should be the back. They have the marketplace where they have all the advertising. You see, I painted it all out because it was all ads. And so I painted it out so I have a lot of journal space. And it's just all colored pages that I can work on when I'm ready to. But I kept images too, like this little boy and the dog. And I even kept the inserts. And boy, I'll tell you, there was a lot of, you know, surprisingly, the pages are magazine weight. But surprisingly, by the time you get a layer on both sides, it adds a lot of strength to the paper. When they're wet, they're wet and they tend to curl. But after you use your heat gun on them, like I would paint them and then I would dry them with my heat gun, and that would help kind of flatten them out. And then after this is craft paint. This is just all this apple barrel craft paint. And after it dries, and after you shut the book and close it, it really kind of smooths these pages out fairly well. There are still some, you can see it in here, there are still some wrinkles in here, but, and especially on these pages where, this is a good example, where I just have a little paint down here, but the image up here is still the magazine image. I don't like the wrinkles they do, so I stopped after I jesseled mine. Oh, okay. Well, you know, you have to do what you like. Now you can see a lot of this still has some, but to me, this is all, this is just background. I'll be coming, let's see if I can get to the first page. The first page I did in here was this page. And this actually was an answer to her first, in quotes, homework assignment. And you'd have to go back and look at the video to see how it worked together. But her homework assignment was mind mapping images. And you take one central image, which was this girl in a swimsuit, and she was at Coney Island. And then I just picked out 6 or 7 other images. How your magazine isn't wrinkled. There's still some wrinkles in here, but it's the weight of the magazine. This is a fairly heavy book, and the weight of this actually smooths some. When it's wet, when it is wet, pages like this are really kind of curly. I mean, you know how a thin paper, when it gets wet, will curl up. But if you use your heat gun, just like as if you were working on a manila tag, you know how you use your heat gun and that paper will kind of flatten out a little? Well, it's the same principle here. But you can see it's still got some wrinkles in it, but the weight of the book helps smooth out those wrinkles. After you get Yeah, after you get your paint on top too. That's right, Patricia. So, let's see. I was going to show her some of the pages that I did here. I did another caricature portrait. I call these appreciation pages. Where is it? I want to bop to it. Of Gina Ahrens. Her YouTube channel, well, you can find her if you just Gina B. Ahrens on YouTube. And I watch her channel a lot. I've learned a lot from her. In fact, she's the one who sort of informally introduced me to these fine line paint. Goodbye, Aunt Beck. Good night. Have a really good weekend. Stay safe, and I hope those storms don't get you. Masking tape on the binding? No, this actually is mailing tape. In fact, I have it here in my drawer. Let me pull it out if I can. I thought I had it in my drawer here. I do. I keep filling up my drawer. Here, it's just this mailing tape. I'm back. It keeps, let's see, now I gotta flip it again. There. So I was saying that this is just plain, well, it's Scotch brand mailing tape. It's pretty strong. I don't think I could tear it. You can bend it, but you can't tear it with your hands. Masking tape you could tear. But it holds it pretty good. Now, I will say, I have a video of how I did the rebinding on this. After I glued all these magazines together, and I propped the magazine up like this, and per Dee Dee's suggestion, layered the glue in here. I mean, there is a lot of layers of glue down in here holding these magazines together on the spine. And then I put a cheesecloth across the back. I have a cardboard and a cheesecloth. I hope so. Because the first time I did the binding, it was not good at all. But I've been using it now for several weeks, and it is not falling apart at all. If you build a big book like this, thank you, Aristi. If you build a big book like this, you will have the issue of really deep margins in here if you're working in the middle of the book. So, you know, just kind of plan that you're going to have at least a ½ of an inch on each side, if not 3/4 of an inch, or you're going to be painting down like that. And that's just the nature of the beast. I think with a smaller magazine, just one magazine, you could open up better. It's just something to consider. Like when we had to make our en masse collection journal, mine fell apart, live and learn, right? Yeah, that's what happened to me on this. I had to live and learn, Janet. But you must be doing a lot of living and learning, because I'm learning from you. You've given me some good suggestions tonight. This is something that you're going to see me doing more of. This is, I got inspired by watching Julie Fan Bowser, and she does beautiful, what she calls lace pages. These are just my initial experiments. I wanted to see if I could cut in here, and she just took her knife and she said, you doodled with your knife. How long did you let it sit before it dried? You mean the binding? To be safe? Well, to tell you the truth, the first time I did not let it sit long enough. And these magazines here were, and if you go back and look at my first videos, you'll see that, how these magazines were actually falling out this way. They were moving forward between the two. There's 3 Cappers Farmers and 2 Midwest Livings. And there's a Cappers Farmer, a Midwest Living, a Cappers Farmer, and a Midwest Living and a Cappers Farmer. Well, my Midwest Livings were falling this way forward. I did not let that dry long enough. I got impatient with it. So the next time, I think I let it, well, I let it dry in sections. I did a couple sections and then I clamped them together. I clamped them together with clamps that, you know, like a clamp and then you screw it tight. I got my brother's clamps and that held it really tight. And I would let each section dry. I can't remember if I let it dry 1 day or 2 days, not more than 2 days, but by the time I did the entire project, it was rebinding it, it took me about a week. And then I did that, adding the spine and the cheesecloth across the spine. And there is a video on my rebinding of this that might give you a better idea. But I'm having a lot of fun working in it. And I numbered all the pages. The pages are all numbered, so I know I have about 800 and, I say 23, that's really 800 and, not counting the back cover, 800 and, this is 824, so 25, you count these, there's 826. But when you start doing things like these lace pages, and if you did 3 or 4 of them in a setting, before you know it, you might have 10 pages done in, you know, a couple hours. So an 800-page book like this, if you're just, will you paint them all? I don't think I'll do painting on all of them. I do different things, like you saw over here. I did some mind mapping writing, and this was just notes that I took off of this page that I was playing around with. The who, what, where, when, why, and how up here of each one of these images. Like this lady is in a swimming suit. Where did she go? Or we know she went to Coney Island, but why did she go? Who did she visit? So that's kind of what I was doing in here. And I was just, you can just go on and on and on once you get into these who, what, when, who, what, when, where, why, and how questions. It's called mind mapping. It's like Velcro. You get one idea and or question and it grabs onto another one. Like, what did she do was there? Did she go shopping? Did she go antiquing? What did she buy? Who did she give it to? Did she keep it for herself? How did she get it home again? Who did she write to? Did she send a postcard home, and did she send it to her family? Did her family know? You know, you can just go on and on and on with those type of questions. But for me, that's fun. You know, I enjoy doing that. This is not the only way to approach an art journal page. This is one way to do it. And I get inspired by doing this. The other thing I wanted to show you, that's gossip. Or see, that's funny. I suppose it could be considered that. In here, where is it? I want to show you. 6. Here, I have an index. And so when I create a page, I write down. So if I want to know what pages I did as lace pages, I know they're on 158 and 159. I did the Coney Island pages on 237, 238, 239, and 240. I did some more lace pages over here. So I just make columns of numbers, and I'm keeping track of what I put in here. So if I ever get to the point where I say, oh, where did I put my index pages? I can at least find the index and, oh, they start on page 683 is where my index. In fact, I got these because I got them at the Dollar Tree. They're just little clips. That's true, Janet. Janet is telling Susan that when you work in a book like this, that's a good point, Janet. And Janet does these magazine, I should say that. Janet has a project like this going, only I don't think she has a YouTube channel. So, but she's really knowledgeable, and I know that Janet also watches Dee Dee Willingham. So, but Janet is telling Susan that when you work in a magazine like this, that you don't work you don't start at the front page and work toward the back, or start at the back and work toward the front. It's important that you do some pages here, maybe flip to the middle and do some pages, and work it over in the back. Because if you don't work in, I call it a meander fashion, what will happen is your binding, and Dee Dee points this out really well in her videos if you watch it, your binding here will start to warp out of shape. Something, you know, I'm just kind of moving mine out of shape. You will not have a decent binding on the side. So, you want it done tonight? Oh, the other thing, Susan, I should tell you is if you decide to cut your magazine in half, some of the gals have been taken up to like Staples and some of the office supply stores that have, I want to say shops where they'll do work for you. And they have special tools that they can cut a magazine in half for you. And I will say, if Leslie's still here, she knows from experience to make sure that you make sure they cut it, that they know where half is. Because I think Leslie had the experience where they cut it. Yeah. Staples is a $2 cut, and they will clean it up for you too. Yeah, Leslie had the experience where they didn't cut it right on center, so she had uneven sections. But I think she took it back and they cleaned it up for her, and so that it was all the same size. But I didn't have mine cut in half because I need space. In fact, I am doing my composite art journal on a 12 by 12. And to tell you the truth, what I have on this desktop here is about 2 feet by 3 feet. And I really, if I could have an art journal 3 feet by 3 feet, I'd be a happy camper, because I like to put my finger in the paint. I got some black paint over here, and I put my hand in it. I like to work large. Working small when I'm doing a lot of scribbling and putting down images and all that, it's fun, but sometimes when I work small, I have to get my nose up to it. So I like a larger journal, so I decided I was going to stick with a larger one. But I will say, this is a really, I think I've had to restart this about 5 times. Let me flip it. I was saying that if you do 5 or 6 magazines, just be aware that when you get to the center here, you're going to have deep gutters. And that may frustrate you, it may not. The other thing is when you're working on the front, you need something like an extra book or something so that you aren't working like this. You need something underneath. I just put another big fat dictionary underneath of it to stabilize it. And the same way when I'm working in the back here, like when I worked on Gina's page here, I had to put a book underneath this. I put a big dictionary under it so that's just something to be aware of if you go big. So, but I'm really happy with this. I'm having so much fun in it. There's images that I've kept, like I could not paint out, and I probably will leave these. This was the Thanksgiving issue. These were mostly holiday. I think the Cappers Farmers were across, you know, I think they're published quarterly, so I had a year of them, but this was the Thanksgiving issue. This one, I'm not sure what he said, a workbench here. But I'm not messing up these. I'm leaving these. And I'll probably leave the flag alone. And I like this one at the front because it talked about storytelling. And I'm really interested in storytelling. Janet's telling Susan that when she glues her magazines together, that you use tacky glue and then duct tape or something like packing tape, oh, to make it really strong. Oh, the companion, let me get that while you're talking about it, because I got it over here. I've been doing some more writing in it tonight. I wanted to record that binding technique that Gina was talking about. E6000. Yeah, Leslie's saying that E6000 works really good for the gluing. This is, while I was busy working in this and just having all sorts of fun working in this, I went back over and checked Dee Dee's channel, and lo and behold, they started this Society for Idea Collectors. I'm going, oh, she's killing me with all these ideas, you know, really cool ideas. It's just right down my alley. I love this mind mapping stuff and the who, what, when, where, why, and how. I put that right in the front, and I put. They're using a composition book, and Dee Dee was telling me when I posted it, she said, well, you could do your idea collecting in here, but you have to write on this with a ballpoint pen. There's some pens that you write in here that, like Sharpies, don't work well on painted papers. So I just decided to get a composition book like what they're using and do my actual writing, journaling, and recording ideas in a composition book like they are. And this is just duct tape. I just taped out the, you know, has composition book and whatever it has on the front. I just taped, and I used a fine line paint applicator. And that was the barcode on the back. And then I think Susan was talking about this color coding. I did not want to put tabs on here because this will fit perfectly into the bag that I'm carrying. I'm reading Janet's comment to Susan. I'm going to read Janet's comments because she's got a lot of good ideas. She says, Susan, I'm not sure about a glue gun. With the tacky glue, squirt it all over the 2 pages, then use a credit card to smooth out the pages and then glue them together. She's talking about gluing the magazine front and back to each other in here. I hope you don't mind that I'm reading your comments, Janet, but you have a lot of good ideas and suggestions. I was talking about tabs. I think Dee Dee says that when she works, she doesn't use tabs, but she was showing how to put tabs for your topics in there. And I decided I did not want tabs on my composition book, because I'm going to be putting this in my purse. It fits perfectly in my purse, and I felt like the tabs would just get all messed up. So my tabs, when I chose my topics here, I just made a whole list of things that I thought would apply to me. Some of them crossed over with Dee Dee's, some of them didn't. Like, I pointed out that I like to write letters, and I need to get back to that. I used to write letters to my viewers here on the YouTube channel, and I've kind of gotten, I guess the word is squirrel now. The little squirrel led me down a different path, and I haven't been doing my letter writing. But letters is something that interests me, and I'm putting that as a subtopic under writing. And I think Laura, in her comments, I was reading the comments, and she pointed out I pronounced it as zines, and she said that the youth in her area pronounce it as zines, like a magazine. So I spelled it right, but I pronounced it as zines because I pronounced it like I saw it. So now on, Laura, if you're listening, I'm going to call it zines because that makes sense to me. But then I color-coded my topics, and I'm just using, I put them away, but I'm using the Bic Market markers here. And when I get over to my pages, I counted out, there's 100 pages here, but there's 100 total, and that makes 200 front and back. And I have 15 topics, so I used 10 pages. I left me 10 pages at the front. So that's 20 pages front and back. And then I divided the rest up between my topics, and it worked out to about 6 pages front and back, so 12 pages total. Like if you count front and back, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, that I have for each topic. And then instead of putting tabs, I just found the center of the page and used my big marker to coordinate with the topic that I chose for the color over here. I color coded them so that when I want to find a topic like notes, I can just kind of flip this way. And that really works for me rather than trying to create tabs and put them in there. And then if I put it in my purse, I won't bend the tabs over is my reasoning for doing that. But I will say that if you use big markers or alcohol markers, and I imagine Sharpies would work the same way, I only had to color one side of the paper, and it soaked through to the back. I did not color the back. I'm laughing at you, Leslie. Yeah. I just have all sorts of fun doing this. And you know what? I've chatted for 1 hour and 45 minutes, and I'll bet you there are some of you falling asleep. Are you serious, Leslie, or are you just making a comment? Let's see, Janet says, this needs to be a book that can travel with you. Oh, she's talking about the Idea Collector's book. Janet, bye, Shauna. Have a really good weekend. Okay, I'll do that, Leslie. 5:15 in the morning. I hope that you are a night owl early bird, Aristi. Let's see, I want to read Janet's comment. She says, she's talking about this Idea Collector's book. She says, this needs to be a book that can travel with you for herself because of her creative thinking happens when she drives. And this is the best way for journaling our ideas. That's really true. If it's something that you can carry with you, I mean, who knows when inspiration strikes. I don't go on as many country drives as I used to, but maybe Janet drives to work in the morning. But I understand exactly what she's saying. It needs to be handy, and I would have chosen a smaller book, maybe half this size this way would work for me, but I don't know. I just kind of I like things a little bit larger. Let's see, what am I saying? I mean, let's see. That's okay, Mary. I love listening to you. And is this Ustream or YouTube? And how do I find Susan? I am trying to do live chats Friday nights at 7:30 p.m. Central Standard Time. So that's generally when I'm on. If that ever changes, I'll let folks know. But that seems to be the best time for me. So Friday nights, 7:30 p.m. Central Standard Time. I'm in Nebraska. I'm in the Midwest. So that's when I go live. And that would be 8:30 p.m. Eastern Time, 6:30 Mountain Time, 5:30 Pacific Time, and I think over in England, and I don't know what it is in Greece, but I think it's like 6 or 7 hours ahead of us. So they're in the wee hours of the morning. And over in New Zealand and Australia, it's like 12 or 13 hours. They're into their next day. And this is YouTube. I'm not on Ustream, but Dee Dee Willingham does Ustream, Susan. And she is Inkwell, I believe, and she does coffee and art in the morning, and she streams. You can find her just by searching for Dee Dee Willingham. She does it on Monday, Wednesdays, and I think the occasional Friday is how she terms that. But Mondays for sure, and probably Wednesdays, and occasionally Fridays, I think is her schedule. Dee Dee is a really, and then she uploads her Ustreams to YouTube. Dee Dee, that's where I watch Dee Dee most of the time, is here on YouTube. she goes for a couple hours every time she streams. So I watch her YouTube in segments, like I'll watch half. It's really bumming out on me tonight. That's okay, Aristi. Thank you so much. Thank you, Leslie, for explaining all that. I'm only catching part of the comments because I bopped out. Thank you, Janet. I think you all need to go have a good weekend. Thank you for coming. I'm going to finish my building page offline. And Janet, email me your address because I want to send you a little black and white thank you for the word. I think you said believe. I have to go back and check it. Believe, was that your suggestion, Janet, for that fairy page that we did? Yeah. So I'm going to use that. Thank you, Leslie. And Leslie, you go have a good weekend, gal, because you deserve it. Leslie's been teaching in a kindergarten class. Believe. Got it, Janet. Thank you. Anne! Oh, well, Anne, catch the replay. Hi, Anne. Good to see you peek in on it. 7:30 Central Time is when I try to go on, Anne. Friday nights. Good night, everybody. Have a really, really good weekend. Stay safe. Do art. Everything else. Oh, and Aristi, if you're still here, be sure to PM me your address so we can trade books. I'm going to be sending the October issue to you. Good night, everybody. Thanks for putting up with this fussy live session tonight. Okay, Aristi, that'll be good. Good night, everyone.